Hey, what's going on, everybody? Doki the Dingus, aka Wagon Fruit here, and welcome back to Doki the Uncut. This time, before I get into the team builder, whoa, big gap in uploads for me, huh? Yeah. So at this point in time, the DGBA season that this builder is for is already over. The entire season is over, and yeah, this is the week 3 game. So all these team builders that are going to come out from now on, and also the 88 goals games too, that's still in playoffs, and that's still happening. But not going to spoil what happened in my DGBA season or my 88 season. All you have to know right now is the DGBA season is already over, and the 88 goal season is still in playoffs. But that being said, all of my battles are still live comm. They're not going to be post comm. I think that's just boring, and I at least wanted to make sure that all those battles were going to be live comm for when I did end up uploading. The reason I stopped uploading at a certain point was because we were behind on thumbnails, and it got to a point where I have just way too many videos just backlogged. And no single person is gonna ever want to make that many decent to good thumbnails for videos that are not profiting at all. This is just like a little passion thing. So my thumbnail person who's been doing the art for my thumbnails, I don't blame him at all for not wanting to do any more thumbnails. So after this video, this is not really gonna be a thumbnail for any game. Maybe I'll throw a stupid image up on the thumbnail just to be something, but otherwise it might just be this kind of screen just in a thumbnail. That's just how it's gonna be. But all the team builders, they're gonna be with knowledge of how the game already went in mind, and all of the battles will be live comm. And I don't think that really takes away from the experience at all. It's just delayed. So that's just how it is. And before I get into this matchup and the team I've built, just wanted to remind you, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I make some pretty cool builds, and sometimes I even win with them. That being said, let's get into this matchup. You see my team over on the right. Don't need to repeat it. We have Palafin Hero on the other side. We have Palafin Hero. We have Tera, Tornadus Tarian. Yikes. Iron Hands, Dragonite, Iron Treads, Screamtail, Quillfish Hisui, Ursaring, and Flareon. This matchup, as all will be with this replacement dogshit team, is really horrible. Tornadus, on its own, just like the Cresselia from week 1, potential to just 6-0 this whole team. Don't really have any tools for it. So that's like the main target of what we're trying to answer here. Palafin's also pretty good with like a special set, it looks like. I'm looking at all of this from like a past point of view. It could just be like a standard flip turn set just to get into the Tornadus. Seems totally fine. Iron Hands plus Treads, my only like real answer that I want to keep for those two is Hippo. So if that gets broken down, then seems a little scary. And then the Quillfish is there. Quillfish plus possibility of Screamtail is there for my Espathra. So this is once again not a very great matchup for me, as they all will be. My team is pretty dog, all in all. We do end up making transactions to this team, but it's not yet. I don't think it's in like 2 or 3 battles. We don't make any transactions to the team. At a certain point, like I didn't want to make any transactions to the team because of my ideology of how you should replace, but it became so shit that I just had to, and it was a change that I'm very glad I made. So let's just head over to the team that I've built. We have a lead Cyclozar, guaranteed lead, with Eject Pack Draco, which is pretty cool. Shed Tail, obviously, and then Thunderbolt and Rapid Spin. So the idea behind this is it can have a pretty decent lead into both Palafin and the Torn that I thought was going to come. That, or it just forces the Torn to Tera if it's dead to like 2 T-bolts, right? I speed tie the Torn. It's like a gamble, but you kind of have to go for gambles when you're in this kind of a matchup. If I remember correctly, the Torn that I expected to come... Ooh, what was it? Was it just like a ground Torn? Maybe it was just oh, no. We expected a Tera flying Torn with just Grass Knot for coverage for our Rocky guy over there, because that is our only flying resist. Yeah, the only flying resist on our whole team is this Garganacl. So at +2, he can just Grass Knot my Garg, like just base Garg, and then it would just kill me. So it's a really dog shit matchup, and there's no real Tera type that I want to go to in order to make it properly check Torn. So it's a really, really bad matchup. I guess looking at it now, like, I probably could have considered Tera Steel just because I don't think Focus Blast would come into this team. But at the time, the threat was just plot Hurricane Grass Knot, and I didn't want to go Tera Steel because it loses to things like Iron Hands and coverage from Palafin and Treads. And honestly, looking back at it, probably should have gone Tera Steel. But it's not what we are. This Torn is fucked up, so having a decent lead versus it is pretty nice. This also is obviously very good for a Palafin lead because it means that I can either get a Shed Tail off, or I could just get a meaty Draco off, and then just get the momentum right off the bat if he activates Palafin early. If he were to go Palafin, I would probably click Shed Tail because Scream could come in and just eat the Draco, but honestly, that's not so bad, right? I could just Draco and then Shed Tail. Yeah, I would probably just do that. And then we have a couple of tea enjoyers, we could say. Both of these next threats, our Tera threats, have herbs on them. So this is our lead Psychozar, pretty good, can spin, whatever. Next we have our Espathra. Espathra, the shining crown. That's not the right word. Fucking the last hope of like every matchup, basically. This Espathra. This week we decided to go Lumina Crash, Tera Blast, Electric, Shadow Ball, and Protect for the speed boost with a Mirror Herb. So the idea is we wanted to have another thing that could just stop a Tornado Sweep, and this thing actually kind of reverse sweeps because we were expecting Tera flying, right? So with Tera Electric, Tera Blast, and the Mirror Herb, we can use Protect to get faster than Torn, and if it clicks Nasty Plot, we absolutely destroy it with the Tera Blast. And we destroy most of the rest of the team with this set. It 2-shots Treads, so the Treads needs to be chipped, but other than that, it hits the entire team insanely well. Even the Quillfish just would obviously never appreciate a +2 modest stab Tera Blast from Espathra. So it's a pretty cool set. It's one that I stand by. It was pretty good in the matchup. I think it's pretty obvious what it's designed for, so I'm not going to really sit there and explain it to you. The next of our tea enjoyers is this Garg. And with the Espathra, I liked the set. I still like it in hindsight. This guy's a little stupid. This guy's a little dumb. I personally, with this team, fucking hate Tera Garg. I think it doesn't function at all. Out of all the Mons on my team, it straight up does not function with the team style, and it is super dog shit like with the Psychozar Roaring Moon Espathra offense that this team is trying to go for with the first 3 picks. It's really where it sent the team downhill, and it's just a huge momentum sink. And I think Tera Garg is so much easier to prep for in draft than it is for on ladder, so it's just really not that great. The best set, I think, in draft is going to be Curse basically every time. Because Salt Cure is just going to be like, there's going to be a Covert Cloak mon that's just going to take care of you and plot on you for free a lot of the time. So we have the other herb, the Mental Herb, with Body Press, Heavy Slam, Recover, and Curse. The idea behind this Garg, right? One of the roadblocks, you could say, for Espathra is on-course Screamtail, just usually. So the idea is, off of lead, possibly, we could Shed Tail over to Garg with Psych, and then Curse as Screamtail comes in, maybe possibly even Covert Cloak Screamtail, right? We have Espathra with Lumina. It should probably be a Covert Cloak Screamtail. And it comes in, it sees us Curse, and it's like, fucking cool. It's behind a sub. I can't really click on any other button. I'm just going to click Encore. Just get the threat out of the way, because I can Encore it for eternity until I kill it. If it were to do that, I could Heavy Slam it for like 75%, and suddenly it can't take an Espathra Shadow Ball, even if I don't get the Mirror Herb boost. So I thought this was a pretty cool bait set. Body Press plus Heavy Slam, in theory, should be able to hit the whole team kind of well. In theory. What I didn't realize at the time, I'm going to spoil it a little bit for you right now. What I didn't realize at the time is Heavy Slam is 40 base power versus Dragonite. That's a problem. My other attacking move is Body Press. And you will see why that's a problem in the game and why I didn't consider it here. But I didn't really think Dragonite was going to come versus me. I do have a Dondozo plus Sylveon, so it's kind of hard for a special or physical set to get going. But there is one set that is legitimately very good versus me with the right things going on. So I understand why it came, and I understand why it put a lot of strain on my team. But it was really a roadblock for this Garg, and it makes me not like it in hindsight. But it's cool, right? We have the double herb combo with our wonderful Mirror Herb Espathra and our Mental Herb Garg. I just thought it was pretty cool. It's a nice little thing to bring to a game. Next up, we have our Scarf Roaring Moon. Big Revenger over here. Big safety net for things like Torn and things like a DD Dragonite if it somehow gets out of hand, with like hazards from Quillfish being a problem. Also a speed boosted Treads, or just speed boosting Treads with booster energy. Maybe this is like a great way of just revenging it. We have Earthquake, Outrage, Iron Head, and U-Turn. Hits the team pretty freaking well. Earthquake just handles a lot of different things that could resist the usual stuff from Roaring Moon. And then Outrage hits basically everything else. Iron Head for the Screamtail, and then just U-Turn for momentum. I don't totally remember the idea that I had with this Roaring Moon, whether it's supposed to be late game or just revenging, but I'm pretty sure it was just for revenging. But I do have Outrage, so I'm not totally sure what I was thinking entirely. But Scarf Roaring Moon looks pretty good here. It looks pretty normal and sensible. Maybe if I were to rework the team, I would just put Scale Shot instead, just for Dragonite multi-scale. If I'm really scared of Dragonite, like that kind of thing, I would probably just run Scale Shot just so I'm not locked into Outrage. But Outrage is probably okay, right? The damage from Outrage is kind of unmatched by any other Dragon move, at least consistently. Second to last mon over here, we have our Hippowdon, kind of necessary in the matchup because of Treads plus Iron Hands. But we have a Helmet, obviously very good for those two, as well as possible Dragonite stuff. And we have Earthquake, Stone Edge, Slack Off, and Stealth Rock. Pretty basic stuff. We needed to throw away Whirlwind for Stone Edge because not being able to hit the Torn is legitimately horrible, and I would never want to put myself in that situation where I just can't click a button versus the Torn. So it's whatever. Basic set. Answers, Treads, and Hands. You know the deal. And last mon, we have our Dozo. Full Spit F, but also max attack, Assault Vest. The idea, I think, was I really just didn't think Dragonite would ever run DD because, obviously, why would you? It's very bad into me, especially with a Dondozo plus Hippowdon, so it's literally like no chance that it goes physical. So I'm like kind of thinking if Dragonite comes, it comes special, and we also want to just have as much on the special side to take a Tornadus hit as much as I can. So we are max attack with max Spit F, Assault Vest. We have Avalanche, Earthquake, Heavy Slam, and Liquidation. Hits the entire team quite well other than the Palafin, but Palafin this is not really what wants to handle the Palafin, because I do think the Palafin would come special-ish maybe with like Grass Knot, and that would just totally beat a Dondozo. We don't really want this to be taking it on. I would probably rather just play a more aggressive game and pivot around through Dondozo on a Grass Knot, and then like go to Roaring Moon maybe go to Cyclizar, probably Cyclizar, just to get a strong Thunderbolt off. But Palafin matchup is also not really great just in general because of how bulky our team is and how often Palafin can probably come in versus me. So that's the team. Battle obviously has already happened, and I know the result, but you don't. All I can say in regards to it, I'm not going to say if I won or lost, but I have regrets. I have regrets, mainly this Garg, but I mean, I kind of wanted to give every Mon a game before I made any transactions, so this is the game where it comes. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys will enjoy the battle, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.